Hello. So in today's instalment, I have been prompted to start sharing my exploration of some of the healing modalities that I've used over the past year. The topic of today's discussion is actually something I started doing a long time ago. In fact, it's something I've been doing all of my life, not that I'd always realised what it was. It really pleases me that the topic of mindfulness is now being discussed in the mainstream media more and more. And today I want to share my experience of meditation with you. Some of you watching may be regular meditators, and some may think that it's not something that you know how or believe that you can do. And there is a lot of information about meditation out there, and my story is just one of millions. Humans have been doing it for thousands of years, and it doesn't require any special skill. I think it's something we are all born doing, and it's only over time and as our brains begin to sense and process all of the external stimuli as we grow and our days are filled with distractions that we stop doing it at all. I think you can see it in babies, you know, when they get all starey before they fall asleep, in those quiet moments where they are totally present and able to block out any sounds or anything that's happening around them, and they're transported to a space of pure calm and they signal to their body to rest and they're totally present. And that's what practicing meditation teaches us to do. It teaches us to become present. When I was young, me and my sister used to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And when I say we used to watch it over and over and over again. We loved Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And if you did, feel free to share in the comments a little big up to Sabrina. Well, in one of the episodes, she's undertaking her witch license exam, and she goes into this completely white, empty space, like a vacuum, and she's tasked with showing off her skills in whatever way she wants to. She's given the space to let her authentic self shine. And I was 9 years old when that episode aired, and some nights I really struggled to fall asleep. Quieting my mind was difficult, and worrying about bad dreams was something I battled with most nights. Well, after watching this episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and don't ask me why I started to do it, but I started to visualise myself like Sabrina in a white empty space, and I could transport my thoughts to this white empty space and then trace out the word dream or sleep in my mind. And I always found that the next morning I woke up having fallen asleep and never getting past the letter E. And the truth is, I was meditating then. As I grew older, my technique to initiate sleep developed into more of a breathing pattern that I would repeat. And you know, every partner I've had has always remarked how I can go from wide awake to sound asleep in a matter of minutes. And I started to learn more about meditation in my teenage years, in terms of the way that you could be transported to a place of your imagination on command and whilst awake. But as I became an adult and life started to happen, I really fell out of practice, and I failed to associate or realise how helpful meditation could be when I was feeling worried or stressed and overwhelmed. When I lived and worked in the pubs with my husband, I didn't need any help falling asleep. I was that exhausted, and after a while I began avoiding him in the evenings as I anticipated an angry drunken outburst from him. So I either worked late or I went straight to bed whilst he stayed up and drank. On the outside, I looked to be the happy, lively, energetic hostess, but on the inside, I was a confused little girl, and I was wondering what on earth had happened to the Prince Charming who had whisked me off my feet and married me on a beach in Mauritius. I was consumed by life, and so meditation had been far from my mind for a long time. Yet when I fell pregnant, I remembered I'd read about something called hypnobirthing many years before, when a friend of mine was pregnant with her first baby. And as part of the hypnobirthing method of having a baby, meditation is used to promote relaxation and calm in the mother and the baby. And so there I was, meditating again, escaping my life and creating space and time for myself in amongst all the chaos. Now, once my daughter was born in 2014, I had no need to hypnobirth, so I stopped meditating again. Probably the day before she was born was the last time, and I didn't do it for 5 years. Now, even summarising those 5 years would take a long time, and since we have all year to cover with this series, I won't give any spoilers away right now. But as far as meditating was concerned, I didn't do it, not once, until 2019. And it was when I started to listen to guided meditations on YouTube in 2019 that I started to uncover the truth of what was going on in my life, and specifically inside my relationship. Not only did I start to see things more clearly, I started to feel like I could overcome my own personal battles. And it took nearly 1 year from when I started meditating again to the day that I saw Mr. C for what he really was. But I truly believe that without meditation it would have taken longer, and I definitely wouldn't have accelerated my personal healing now. It took nearly 1 year from when I started meditating again to the day that I saw Mr. C for what he really was. But I truly believe that without meditation it would have taken longer, and I definitely wouldn't have accelerated my personal healing without it. I meditate every night now without fail. Sometimes I meditate in the day, especially if I feel low in energy or overwhelmed. And if I feel like I need to explore a feeling deeper, meditation is my first port of call. And holding that time and space for myself has had really transformational effects. So that brings me to the prompt that inspired this instalment today, and that was an email that I received from the wonderful Mindful Movement. Mindful Movement is a YouTube channel that I use to find the guided meditations, and on this day 1 year ago the email read, "Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it." Profound in itself and a timely reminder indeed. But this email also inspired me to do something which I believe really started my healing journey off on a great footing. I decided that I would do an A to Z of meditation. Each night I would put into the YouTube search bar Mindful Movement, followed by each letter of the alphabet over the 26 days. I don't have any affiliation to Mindful Movement, and this can be done with any guided meditation, but I like Sarah's meditations, and when something isn't broke, you don't fix it. A couple of days ago we went into lockdown, so the country had kind of signalled to me to retreat, and really embracing meditation and seeing where it could take me seemed like a great way to start my self-care routine. And if you want to experience deep healing and explore your thoughts and feelings, or just have something to do over the next 4 weeks, which is a really positive step, then I recommend that you try it as well. Just pop in the letter and then let the search results speak to you before you choose which one to listen to. I didn't worry about the length, and I didn't worry about whether the topic felt appropriate or not. But there is a little tip there that if you feel like you're resisting the word that's coming up, it's probably a good sign that you definitely need to explore that one more. And I just sort of went with it, anxiety, body scan, chakras, depression, evening ritual, and so on. And there is just one for every, well, there's more than one for every letter. I could talk about meditation for hours. So for today, I'm going to leave it here. But please feel free to join us over in the Facebook group if you're not already in there, and discuss your experiences of meditation, or ask me any questions about my personal experience with what is such a wonderful healing modality. Thank you for listening, and thank you for the opportunity to rewatch that episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch and relive a little bit of my youth. Have a great day.